Welcome to the NNBN podcast, talking with businesses, charities and organisations across Northamptonshire.
Sponsored by Poppy Design Studio. Find us at poppydesignstudio.com.
So here we are, it's episode 2 of the NNBN podcast, and I'm delighted to welcome you back. It's great, it's been a great launch last week. Here we are with week 2 with some fantastic guests. We've got Tamara Holland joining us from Dot and Stripe, the Micro Business of the Year at this year's NNBN Awards.
It was just so lovely, and I think the reason it meant so much was because I really didn't expect it this year.
And I'm also being joined by Millie Fife from No Fuss Meals for Busy Parents CIC as she talks about her success at this year's NNBN Awards, which took place in October.
Afterwards, I felt like I could walk on water, because I just didn't expect it.
So welcome to the second podcast on the channel. And it's been brilliant, actually. We've had some really good feedback over what we've done last week, and looking forward to some of the people that we've got lined up in the next couple of weeks as well. But I'm gonna be honest with you, it's been a busy one, real busy one as well. And we had a great night at the Northamptonshire Business Awards on Thursday evening at the Northampton Town Centre Hotel. And of course, thanks to Chris and the team down there for looking after us all on the night, and well done to the Northamptonshire Chamber of Commerce on a fantastic event celebrating business across Northamptonshire, which, as everyone knows, we are really wanting to do as well. So us and the Chamber, it's a fantastic relationship we've got, and look forward to working with them going forward into 2024 as we keep driving business activities in Northamptonshire. So, my first guest today, she was the Micro Business of the Year at this year's NNBN Awards, and I'm delighted to welcome Tamara Holland from Dot and Stripe.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, actually, thank you. And thanks for joining us on the podcast today and talking a little bit about yourself. So do you want to give everybody that's listening and everybody that tunes into the channel sort of a bit of a background to you and what you do for your clients?
Fab, yeah. Well, I can officially say I'm an award-winning marketing consultant now. So award-winning marketing consultant, mostly for children's activities providers and people in the family business space. So I work with a lot of franchisors, franchisees, independent businesses, basically any businesses that are looking to nail down their marketing strategies, particularly those people who are relying a lot on social media, because we put a lot of eggs in that social media basket, and hopefully helping people find other ways to promote their business that actually can take up a whole lot less time for them.
Yeah, fantastic. And marketing, it's such a diverse world, isn't it? Everyone thinks they can crack it, but it's not as easy as that, is it?
Oh, totally. And I think I relate to so many people in this children's activity space because I've been a franchisee myself. So I've been leading the marketing for my own business and then doing it for the franchise that I was working for as well. And I think the other thing that really I link up with a lot of clients on is that I work flexibly. So I work 3 days a week at the moment because I've got 2 young children, and trying to do everything in our businesses in that really small amount of time can be really difficult. So I really want to help people find the right way to focus with that limited time they have, because we all have that juggle struggle. So it's basically finding the right ways to promote and really focus in on what we're great at. And I think our reliance on social media, although it is so important, we've just found that it takes up so much time. It can be really overwhelming and really difficult to measure. So I just want to show people that there's this whole other world of marketing platforms out there.
Yeah, fantastic. And you touched on the fact that you're juggling home life with the business as well. And that's because you're a micro business. Is that right?
I am, yeah. Micro Business of the Year 2023 from the NNBN Award. Thank you very much. It was such a hugely rewarding moment. I've been in my business coming up 4 years now. And what I really loved about winning this was that in my application, I talked about this juggle struggle. I talk about a lot this fact that, we're managing businesses around lots of other responsibilities in our life. So to just have this pat on the back and say, you're doing a really good job. You're making your business a success. You're showing your family that you can still be there for school pickup and the Christmas play and managing to keep the business going. It was just, I'm still on a high about it.
Yeah, fantastic. And we'll come back onto the awards in a minute, but let's just talk briefly about that juggle struggle, because I've been there myself, where you've been at the school gates and you've been picking the children up and you've got an email come in and you're thinking, I really need to deal with this, versus actually I'm my own boss and I can do stuff as the children are coming into the assembly for Christmas plays without having to sign that holiday request off with the big boss and everything. But how do you find the juggle struggle, as you put it? I mean, I love the term, by the way. I mean, I know it's not easy, but I love what you called it there.
I think that one of the things, this year in particular has probably been the biggest challenge, because my son's nursery went insolvent at the beginning of the year. So it was that whole, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? And I think one of the ways that I found that worked really well for me was finding a way to have a bit of a semi-passive income coming into my business. And actually that fit with the type of clients that I'm working with anyway. So finding training, my membership, finding things that aren't as hands-on in my business that allow me to still be making an income in the background. The other thing that's so important is that I work with amazing businesses who also understand flexibility. So they tend to also be parents who may also have responsibilities outside of business. So it actually suits them to maybe have a call at 7:00 on a Tuesday night or on a Sunday. And I also just set and manage my customers' expectations. So even simple things like having on your email signature that I may reply to you at 10:00 at night, but I don't expect you to do the same. I think it's so important to just be clear with your audience and tell them that that's how you work. And I've just been so lucky to have really amazing clients who understand that as well.
Yeah, that's really important as well, because obviously business is about relationships, isn't it, with clients and customers and suppliers and everything. And to have that you're all like-minded, all in a similar community, maybe, if that's the word. But it's great. I'd imagine that's a great asset for you as well.
Definitely. And I think especially working with a lot of children's activities providers, they're running classes, they're running sessions throughout the day. They want to come home, they want to have time with their families as well. So, and they're still also having to do all of the other parts of their business. So I want to help people find the way to manage that limited time they do have to do the right things. And I'm hopefully practicing what I preach as well.
Yeah, I mean, I see some of the output you put on social media. I think it's fantastic what you do. I think it's engaging, it's fun, it's different, it stands out, and that's what people need when they're looking to market their brand, isn't it? And get that attraction that they're trying to attract with their products or services.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot, because I do find I love content. I love coming up with content ideas. I love doing it for myself and for other people. But I think what's so important with the content I'm sharing on social media is that it's aligning with everything else in my marketing. And that's what I hopefully show other people to do. So, having some focus on email, creating blogs, creating videos, finding other tools out there, even with no budget, because I work with a lot of clients with very, very little or no budget, that can really help me get results that tie into that social media strategy, because social media is effectively borrowed, rented space. It can unfortunately get taken away at any time. And I think that many of us have fallen into that trap of putting all of our eggs in that basket. And it's really scary. I've seen clients whose social platforms have been hacked or taken away. I think a couple of years ago there was a bit of a blackout on Instagram and the whole world went crazy. But knowing that I had an email list in the background that I can email my audience straight away that can actually help me track and measure better results is way, way more effective than focusing all that time and energy in one channel.
Yeah, it's really important what you just said there, because I think you're right. A lot of people do look at the easy option of just putting it straight out into social media and not think about the marketing channels and routes to market. And it is really important that you do have more than one. So I'm glad you highlighted that, because so many people, I think, do just go down that straightforward, just put it out on social media and deal with it. And what comes. But it's always important to have different approaches, isn't it?
Definitely. I think it's what I work with clients on is really truly understanding our ideal customer, and that's not just understanding the demographic information about them. It's knowing what they find difficult, what are their pain points, where are they hanging out, both online and offline as well. So, for example, with children's activities people, their clients, the parents, so they're hanging out in soft play centres outside the school gate. They're going to cafes. They aren't just hanging out on social media scrolling. And in fact, a lot of the younger demographic are steering away from some of the social channels. It's quite sad now to think that the younger generation think Facebook is a bit of an older person's platform.
Careful what you're saying. Careful.
Don't get me wrong, I think social media is so important, and channels like TikTok, for example, where search engine optimization keywords that are going to help you get found are so important and are really leading the way, and they should really still form part of a marketing strategy. But I think one of the key things is that I've shared a post about this today, is that we don't know what we don't know, right, when it comes to marketing. So it's all well and good saying, oh, well, marketing's really important and we should do all of these things. But when you're a small business owner, you're like, what does that really mean? What should I actually do? Where should I focus? And I think that's finding the time of working with someone like myself or another marketing expert to really get to grips with your business, because every single person's business is different. Every single person's ideal customer is different. Where they hang out will be different. So, so I think it's so important that if you're going, I know marketing's important and I know social media probably shouldn't be where I spend all my time, but you don't know where to go next, then hopefully speaking to someone like myself will help you in the right direction.
Yeah, and I was joking a minute ago when I was saying careful, because obviously, I've been on Facebook for 14 years now, and I think, where has 14 years of my life gone? But you're absolutely right. I mean, TikTok, I look at it just to catch up with what's going on in the world and have a look at the entertainment side. But do I see myself on TikTok? Oh, I don't know. I've had a dabble, and I don't know. Is it really a generation and a target market? Maybe not. Do I even understand it fully? So, maybe there's a lot for me to understand, but I think certainly it is about finding that right platform, right audience, isn't it? And it's interesting that different people do use those different platforms depending on what generation they come from. So, I mean, for me, well, X now, not Twitter, but I mean, Twitter was phenomenal a couple of years ago. I think it's changed a lot recently, but and Instagram, does do a job for us. But for me, I think it's Facebook still for us, for the demographic we're wanting to reach. So, but it's I'm glad you highlighted that, because it is key that people do think about it. So good. So let's talk about the awards. Let's talk about the success in October. So it's October the 6th at Kettering Park Hotel. And you've been a finalist, or no, you've been runner-up actually at the Kettering Business Awards, haven't you?
Yeah, twice.
Was it twice? Oh my gosh.
Third time lucky.
Brilliant. So you came away this year with the Micro Business of the Year award.
Yes. Yeah. So the first one was Startup of the Year, which I think I was in probably my first year and a half to 2 years of business. Oh, it must have been. Yeah. And then went into runner-up of Small Business of the Year. And then third time lucky, Micro Business of the Year. We got there.
Yeah, well done on giving it a go still, because you can get a little bit demotivated. You sort of think, oh, how am I ever going to get there? But you got there in the end, and fantastic. What was the night like for you? How did you find it?
I think I absolutely loved every moment. And I think the great thing this year was that I really didn't have any expectation. I was just coming to have a really great night. It was amazing to be nominated. And I'm sure everybody says that, but it really is. Especially when you're a solo business owner and you don't get to get out very much and get dressed up and go and connect with some of the local business community. But in particular, walking in this year, it made me realise how far I'd come, because I was saying hello to people that I'd done work for, that I've worked alongside, that I've met in the business community. And I thought, oh my gosh, I know so many people here now versus 2-3 years ago. I've made some amazing connections off the back of winning as well, and actually have some work lined up for the new year because of it. So it was just so lovely. And I think the reason it meant so much was because I really didn't expect it this year. And I'm still on a high. A few months later now, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun. I mean, we thoroughly enjoyed it. It's great to see everybody, presented with certificates and trophies for those that won the categories as well. And we love putting on the event between Marie and I. We see it every year as like our Christmas party, even though it's not Christmas and it's not really a party for ourselves. It's really about the award winners and everything and people coming together. But we had 170 entrants, and
wow.
When I stood on stage and said we've got 58, I think it was, different entities in the room. I think that's what the number was at the top of my head. But it was like incredible to think that people have actually made it into the room. It's just an achievement in itself. And when I've heard that award ceremonies in the past, you're sort of thinking, yeah, right, okay, that's just talk. But having been on the other side of the fence for a good couple of years now with what we did with the Catering Business Awards and now with the NNBN Awards, my gosh, it is an achievement being in the room. So, well done on being there in the first place. But secondly, I mean, walking away with the Micro Business of the Year award, which was actually presented by Nick Freeman, wasn't he, from Nick Freeman Photography, who's actually a micro business himself. So even when Nick stepped forward and he said, I want to get involved this year, okay, this is great. What category? And he said, well, Micro Business of the Year. And I was like, fantastic. So a micro business presented the Micro Business of the Year award. It was just a lovely story. It's just brilliant.
And that he had to be in the photo when he was the photographer of the event, which I loved.
Yeah, we did have a little chat about that before the event, and we said, right, Nick, how are we going to do this? And he was like, and I went, you cannot take a selfie. It's got to be professional photos. So fortunately, he's got a great camera with what he does. And obviously the photographs that he's taken for us over the years have always been great quality. So it just needed somebody to hold the camera and take that picture, which was obviously me. So, but yeah, great night as well. And I think you're right. You do measure how far you've actually come when you go to awards events, because you sort of think, well, actually, could it be this year? Could it not be this year? But then you're looking at how far you've actually come as well. And I think that's really important to measure that. And well done on recognising that.
Yeah, I think what I really love about having that category, because I've never seen a category like that for businesses like myself, like freelancers, solo business owners, people who are doing it all effectively. It's like we are small businesses, but we're not quite small businesses. We don't have maybe teams under us. And I think just to have that recognition that we are still really important business owners, that we're actually helping the business economy, we're helping other people in the local community with their businesses potentially as well, or customers. It just meant a lot, really, just to be recognised, because there are so many other business owners like me, and particularly those who are juggling family as well. And I think in my application, I talked about the fact that I worked in marketing a really long time, and I had my children. And when many people probably feel this as well, when I couldn't carry on doing the full-time marketing job that was taking me all around the world, I wanted to be able to spend some time with my family, and I was really lucky enough to be able to do that. But to set that example for my daughter to say, and my son as well, to say, I have been able to make my business a success and still be able to do the school pickup and be there on school holidays. And it isn't easy. Absolutely. I think it just means so much.
Yeah. Brilliant. And you've summed it up so well there. And micro businesses do play such a huge part in the UK business economy. We're flexible. We can adapt. We can diversify very, very quickly. And that's why over the years that I've been involved with the Microbiz Matters Day, which is a fantastic event that used to take place every year. They stopped doing it now, but it was a great place for micro businesses to come together. And if anything, I think going into 2024, it might be something on our radar next year to maybe look at a micro business day or something like that, where we can get, solopreneurs and small business. Well, I shouldn't actually say that word small, should I? I should say micro businesses together and just say, right, come on, well done, guys, because it is hard running a business. And, for us to be able to put 5 micro businesses through to the awards, to be in the same room as some of the bigger corporates in the area, the big companies, it just inspires you to go on and do more. And I think that's, something that we took from the awards this year to say, we've actually done this from the organisation point of view, of putting some big companies, big names in the area in the same room as people like yourselves, which that must be inspirational, to be there, I'd imagine.
Oh, definitely. And the irony is, being a micro business, I work with some really big businesses in Northamptonshire and beyond. So I've actually supported quite a few of the bigger businesses and other small business owners locally. So it's because it is just me, and I am I hate the word agile, but it allows me to have that flexible approach when I'm working with my clients. So, one of the bigger businesses I work with in Northamptonshire was working in their offices one day a week as their kind of in-house marketing resource. Another, we met up regularly for meetings, but I worked at home. So, just having that opportunity to work with such a wide variety of businesses, and particularly those locally, is really important. And one of the things I just remembered is that I talk about being a micro business owner, but I keep describing it that we are micro but mighty.
I have seen it, and I love it as well. I think it's brilliant.
Can't get the marketing blurb out of me.
No, I think that's absolutely brilliant. It is absolutely right what you say there as well, because we are a force as micro businesses, and we can diversify. And you don't like the word agile, but we are agile. Let's be fair. We can. I don't want to use the word pivot. Let's not go there with that one. But
how many buzzwords can we include?
Oh yeah. But no, absolutely well done. I mean, as I said, it was great to have you involved this year, and many congratulations once again. I think when you sort of settled down after the next day from the awards, what was it like after? Obviously the next day was kind of like a wow sort of thing. But what was it like with maybe some of your customers? Did you get many reactions from your customers from seeing your success?
I had before the awards, because I obviously work a lot in the social space, I created an Instagram reel of getting ready for the event. And it was just so lovely to be able to share the evening with everybody on my Instagram stories, and tell everybody all about it. And then to be able to share that I'd won it was just so lovely. And the messages of support from clients that I've worked with in the past, new people who are really interested to learn a bit more about me and how I can help them. It's just still really kind of helped raise my confidence levels even more to keep pushing with my business. And as I said, this year was quite a tricky one because my son's nursery closed, but luckily he went back. He was off for about 5 months, I think. But to be able to go, oh my gosh, right, that's done with now. That the award was that real push to go, right, this is a great fresh start for the final quarter of the year, and keep pushing and make 2024 even better than the last 3 years before.
Yeah, fantastic. I was actually going to the final question was actually going to say to you, what does the future hold for you for 2024? Have you sort of got that far yet with your sort of thoughts and your planning, or is it just one of those you can take it as it comes?
Well, I as I mentioned, I'm really focusing in a lot more working with children's activities industries and family focused businesses, working on a brand new program which is launching in January called Capture and Convert. So it's all about helping people capture more leads and convert them using email. And so it has self-study training and then all of the actual blurb, the copy, the creatives are already done. So people can just drop in their branding information and then we build it into an email funnel. And I show people how to do that so they can start to sell more spaces at their classes. And one of the things I'm really passionate about is that we, particularly in the pandemic, we did so many courses. Like, I think any of us could put a hand up and said we did a course of some kind, or we bought a course that sat in our email inbox and we didn't do anything with it. So what I wanted was to be able to give people that training, but also all the hard work done for them, and then the accountability and the support to actually launch it. So within the program, everyone will get hand holding basically, so they can ask questions, they can gain my support, and then I actually they submit their emails to me for approval, so we get it actually launched. So that's my aim. In 4 weeks they'll go from maybe 0 emails on their list, maybe a few, to having a system in place that can help them drive more leads. So yeah, that's coming. And then I'm aligning with lots of other businesses in the children's activities space. So have lots of training and workshops coming up next year, speaking at a couple of franchise conferences and pushing to do more speaking opportunities and workshops. And then I also have marketing audits that I offer and strategy sessions. So I'm looking to keep pushing those. So if anyone wants to chat to me about that, please get in touch.
Yeah, brilliant. So, getting in touch. How can people get in touch with you tomorrow?
So my most favourite social media platform is Instagram, and you'll find me at .stripe.uk, or my website is .stripe.co.uk.
Fantastic. And you've got all your contact details on there. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's get Christmas out of the way. Let's get you back on the podcast talking about that, those courses, workshops and everything. So we'll catch up in a couple of weeks or something and get a date in the diary to get another recording done. But listen, it's been great talking to you. Well done once again. Thanks ever so much for joining us on the podcast, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you very much.
So there we go. That was Tamara Holland from Dawson Stripe. And Tamara's important message, I suppose, there is, don't ever give up if you're going to enter business awards. You never know where things will go. And to be third time lucky and coming home with that winner's award is something she should be extremely proud of. So thanks, Tamara, for joining us. We'll be back after this.
Hi, it's Emma here from Laugh Out Loud Theatre. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. If you're looking for more entertainment in Northamptonshire, why not visit our website to see what we've got going on in the area. Visit loltheatre.co.uk for more information and treat yourself. That's loltheatre.co.uk or search LOL Theatre on Facebook.
Small Business Saturday is back again this year and celebrating its 11th anniversary on Saturday the 2nd of December. And to support local businesses, West Northamptonshire Council are offering free parking across all Northampton Town Centre car parks on this day, in addition to free parking in Daventry, Towcester and Brackley Town Centres. If you're not familiar with the campaign, Small Business Saturday aims to highlight small business success and encourages consumers to shop local and support small businesses in their communities all year round. The National Day itself takes place on the first Saturday in December each year, but the campaign aims to have a lasting impact on all small businesses across the UK. So there you go. If you're looking for something for Christmas, looking for a treat, looking for something to do on Saturday the 2nd of December, pop down to Northampton, Daventry, Towcester, Brackley Town Centres. Free parking courtesy of West Northamptonshire Council. So there you go. Saturday 2nd of December, Small Business Saturday. Go and explore in your community. So, Monday the 4th of December, we are having our NNBN Christmas meetup. Wear your Christmas jumpers, have your photograph taken by Samantha Peel from Welly Pictures for a minimum donation of just £5 towards Save the Children. We're going to be meeting at 7 p.m. at the Northampton Town Centre Hotel in Silver Street. Please do come and join us for a bit of festive fun, but also chance to support Save the Children and help Samantha raise some money for this charity. If you want to know more information, go to our website, click on the events tab and book your free place. Free networking, opportunity to make a difference to a charity, and also on the Thursday the 7th, it's actually Christmas Jumper Day, which means that you get your social media picture ready with your Christmas jumper. Go to our website, nnbn.co.uk, visit the events page, book on today.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
So this week we're talking about awards and what it's like to win an award as well. And I've already spoken to Tamara Holland earlier today, but next up I've got the double award-winning Millie Fife with me. Millie, how are you?
I'm all right, Simon. Well, I have been better. I've had a chest infection, so you can probably tell my voice is just not quite firing on all cylinders, but otherwise I'm all good.
Yeah, we can tell a little bit. We wasn't sure if you were carried on drinking the champagne from the awards evening or not, but
well, actually, the 2 bottles that you presented me with at the awards, I've put in our dining room, and we're gonna have it Christmas.
Oh, fantastic! So yeah, as I said, we're talking about awards this week. We've already spoken to Tamara Holland from Dot and Stripe, but I've got Millie with me now. So, Millie, do you want to give us a bit of an introduction to yourself before we sort of talk about the awards a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely, Simon. Thank you. Well, up until recently, I've been running my own digital marketing agency where I'm helping not only Northamptonshire businesses, but businesses all over the country with social media management, digital marketing, PR. But I've actually sort of come away from that a little bit. When I'm not running that business, I'm a farmer, food producer, and passionate about flying the flag for British food and farming, and really quite keen to provide that connection between food grown in the UK and how to make tasty meals from scratch, which is where No Fuss Meals for Busy Parents really first came about. And that is what you awarded me for in the best new startup, because I've been blogging and podcasting and writing recipes and various things for a few years now, and that all kind of came about through the pandemic, living on the farm, growing lots of different things. So we're beef, sheep and arable farmers, so we've got beef, cattle, sheep. We also have some pigs as well and some chickens, and I also have a kitchen garden. So during the pandemic, I basically documented life on the farm. I would get the kids involved with growing things in the garden, and then we basically harvest the crops, bring them into the kitchen and cook a nice meal together. And from there, really, it's grown. And as I have lots of friends who are farmers around the country as well, I started interviewing them about what they grew and produced as well. And really it snowballed from there. And then earlier this year, I basically had a complete step change after going on a leadership course, the Windsor leadership course. And I kind of have always been doing the blogging and podcast as a little bit of a side hustle, a bit of a creative outlet. It's nothing that earns me any income, as it were, but it's just something that I've always enjoyed doing, but always the last thing at night. But actually it's the thing that I enjoy doing the most. And so actually by coming away from my client work, I was able to focus more on No Fuss Meals for Busy Parents. And so I've registered it as a community interest company so that actually I can really deliver on behalf of not only the food and farming industry, but also from a consumer perspective, giving more purpose or giving more benefit to lots more people in terms of recipe ideas and suggestions, cooking from scratch using seasonal produce that is grown in this county in Northamptonshire, but also all across the country.
Yeah, fantastic. And of course, No Fast Meals for Busy Parents, CIC, was the standout winner for the Startup Business of the Year category this year. So, yeah, I mean, well done once again. Let's just get that back in there. So, well done on it. But tell us what was it like to actually be there on the night? Because the awards can be a bit nerve-wracking sometimes, but it's also quite exciting, can't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, like all of these, you sort of don't know. I just went to go and have a good time, really, and enjoy myself and network, because at the end of the day, like, the decisions have already been made. And I was really nervous because actually you're amongst your peers, you're amongst lots of people that are running very successful businesses, and actually to be recognised not only for the new startup, which, is something that is growing out of a passion of mine, really. And now I just feel like, it's incredible they've got this far, and it's really gathering momentum. But afterwards, I felt like I could walk on water, because I just didn't expect it. And it's given me the kind of the confidence, the kind of leg up, the pat on the back, the kind of, yeah, I'm actually doing all right. Because, Simon, as well, when you're running your own business, it can be quite a lonely affair. You just sort of working hours, putting it in, and actually, am I doing okay? And then when someone says, yeah, you are, and now you're also Northamptonshire Business Person of the Year, I mean, oh, blimey, thank you very much. So, yeah, no, it means the absolute world to me. And I'm trying to utilise the opportunity of the platform that you created for me as much as I can.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting because certainly the startup category was a real tough category. There was a lot of great companies in there that started up in the last sort of 18 months that were in that category. And obviously you came out the winner on that, but you're quite right. You just mentioned about the Business Person of the Year as well. So obviously, you're obviously doing something right, that the judges recognise that, to say, look, this is to be the standout winner here. And the competition with that category wasn't easy either. It was quite a tough category. So what was it like when obviously we had John Griff on the stage, was hosting the awards ceremony for us? But what was it? I mean, obviously, I think just before John announced your name, if I remember, I think you kind of knew it was you, didn't you?
Yeah, well, John Griff and I have worked together for years and years and years through the BBC, local radio. He's always, when there's ever any sort of food or farming type stories, he's always rang me up or got somebody to, come and talk to me. I've always been very amenable to the local BBC radio. So we've built up that kind of rapport. And when he started, you know how it is. It's a bit like when you're watching the awards on the telly and they start sort of giving you little hints of, it's them, it's got to be them, sort of thing. And when he started, I can't even remember what he started saying, but I think because he obviously our working relationship, and I'm sure he has similar with lots of the other people that have got the awards. But to me, it was very personal, and yeah, the icing on the cake. And he invited me to come up on stage and just say a few words. And it could have been the John and Millie show at one point, I think. But yeah, it's he's a huge asset, to your awards, but also to our county, really. And I'm hopeful that there'll be other things that I can do with John as time moves forward.
Yeah, fantastic. And we were delighted when John said yes, he'd look after us all on the Hosty Awards this year. We've actually got him back next year. We've not announced it yet, but I just did. But there we go. But also moving on to the Northamptonshire Food and Drink Awards as well. You were there at the Royal and Derngate for that night as well.
I was. It was brilliant. And I was blown away by how many people were actually in that room as well. I mean, it's just absolute, celebration of what our county has to offer. And I was very fortunate. I was nominated by a lovely lady, Lucy Allen, at Daventry Express for the local food hero category. And I came away with a silver, which again, is just sort of another string to my bow, really. And, just encourages me to keep on at it, because it is really important that we do shine a light on our county, what our county has to offer, whether that's through business, through the food outlets through the farming community and what we grow. We're a huge arable county. We're growing a lot of wheat and barley and milling in this county as well. So, there's a lot that we have. And I always say, when I'm working on a national level, a lot of people say, I just generally drive through Northamptonshire and just go along the A14 or up and down the M1. And actually, it is worth stopping. There's a lot to see and do and a lot to celebrate. So, I think that sort of forms part of why I am, hugely grateful for the awards bodies and the organisations that put together these events, because it is the sort of pinnacle or the coming together at the end of the year to kind of celebrate what's good about our county.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've used the phrase, it's kind of the business Christmas party that we don't often get as well. But, obviously what goes on awards night stays on an awards night unless it's on somebody else's social media. But but at the end of the day, it's a great night to bring people together and, people get recognised for their efforts and the hard work that they're putting in. So, yeah, well done on what you've done for both, within our awards, but also within the food and drink as well. So, always great, isn't it? And you've got them on the bottom of your website now. I can see you've actually got the logos on there as well.
I have, yeah, absolutely. So one of the sort of things I've been working on recently is upgrading No Fuss Meals for Busy Parents as a website, because back, during the pandemic, I created the blog, and it was just one of those free WordPress blogs, and it's sort of been fit for purpose. But actually, as I've created new content, it's just ended up being one long line of recipes, interviews, and one thing and another. And it's just not, in my perspective, well, I think from a lot of people's perspective, it hasn't been very user friendly. So actually now there's dedicated areas where there's recipe ideas, there's a meet the producer section, there's the podcast area where they've got all of the episodes there. There's also a section for seasonal ingredients. So you've got January through to December with what's in season, and also awareness days as well. So I've still got a lot of work to do in terms of populating the website with content, but that's just something that, like everything, it's just always work in progress, isn't it? But I'm grateful that I've now got a really, really bright and interactive shop window virtually, and very thankful to the West Northants Social Enterprise team for some funding to help with upgrading that, as well as producing a hero video, which basically, again, tells everybody what No Fuss Meals for Busy Parents is all about. So if you've got time, there's a just over 2-minute hero video at the bottom of that website, and I can also send you the link, Simon, if you want to put it in your show notes as well, because again, it's just getting it into people's hearts and minds, really, about what the CIC is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. The show notes, no problem at all. Send it over to us and we'll get that put in there. But where can people actually find the website that you're talking about at the moment?
Yeah, so it's www.nofussmealsforbusyparents.com, and also Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. I've created a LinkedIn page now. Woohoo! But yeah, mainly Facebook and Instagram is where I put a lot of daily content, but then obviously all of the recipes and the farmer interviews and seasonal ingredients are all on the website too. So yeah, give me some feedback as well, because again, it's always evolving, and so it's really nice. I get messages from people every now and again saying, I cooked this, it was brilliant, it was ideal for my 7-year-old and my 17-year-old, and I just thought, yeah, that's what it's all about. And I didn't know about this business, and now I do, and I'm following them, and I visited them, and I bought X, Y, and Z. And I think, it has that sort of business element, but also it's about buying British, shopping local too.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think when we were talking about food and drink before, you're really into the food and drink sector. And I think it's fantastic what you're doing. You're helping to raise awareness online and visibility through what you do. But that's what your actual business is about, isn't it? It's actually helping to, people get out there, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, it's sort of a two-pronged approach, really. One is shining a light on other businesses within food and farming. But also, I mean, ultimately, the sort of vision, I should say, for the community interest company is that we will come away from such a reliance on ultra processed food. I'm a huge fan of scratch cooking, using whole ingredients, but I get the fact that so many people are time poor. I'm a busy parent myself. When you're running your own business as well, you are time poor. But I think actually, if you can kind of change a few habits and think about, oh, well, actually, tonight, I'm going to need to cook a meal, right? What do I need to do? And even if it means, getting a slow cooker out or throwing, something in a pan, as long as it's honest ingredients, it generally would taste pretty good. So it's about instilling that confidence. And I always find when I start talking to different businesses, organizations, I do a lot of collaborative working. I mean, that's sort of really how the CIC will grow in strength and grow in awareness is obviously by collaboration, because at the end of the day, at the moment, it's just me. But it is that there has been a generation of people that haven't done home economics, haven't had cookery at school, haven't really had that opportunity to learn some of the basics. And I'm just a home cook, but I enjoy having a go. I watch programs on the TV. I don't find them particularly accessible because a lot of the ingredients are quite aspirational, or I just don't have them in my cupboards. But actually, cooking from scratch doesn't have to be too difficult. And, if it's using produce that is grown within this country as well, obviously it's going to have a better impact on our environment with low food miles and from a sort of sustainability perspective as well. So really it's kind of, there's lots to do. It's multifaceted, I suppose. But, if you're listening and you want to kind of get involved, want to find out more, obviously check out the website and the social media accounts. But one of the things I am now working on is trying to get more long-term sustainable income coming in, because I have been applying for a few grants and things to help with some of the project work. But actually that funds a lot of the kind of the things. It doesn't actually fund me, or it doesn't fund the work, as it were. It's just sort of, so for me, it's sort of looking at either corporate sponsorship, so obviously through the podcasts and the blogs, and also like paid partnership work on social media as well. I've started delving into that kind of realms of, being paid to produce videos to showcase different produce and various things like that, which is brilliant. But also from a philanthropic kind of perspective, working with individuals who want to get behind and support good causes. So obviously I've set up as a complete non-profit. So any money that goes into the CIC is for the benefit of the community. So therefore it's not quite a charity. It's not quite a business. It's sort of somewhere in the middle.
Sits in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And busy people. I suppose we've seen a lot of people working from home, with the transition from pandemic to now working from home more as well. So they have got the opportunity, haven't they, of going to switch on the slow cooker, make something maybe at lunchtime and let it cook while they work from home. Is that a market that you're looking to work with?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, your slow cooking, it is very much, it's an easy way of feeding an army. And also if you've got people coming in at different times, the kids come in at one time, then you want to eat one time and your partner comes in at another time. It's kind of like you can just take a scoop and do a jacket potato and you've got some chili or something. It's great from that perspective. But then looking at kind of some of those hero ingredients that you can enjoy at the weekend, a roast dinner or a steak, or I just like doing a lot of sort of pasta dishes and quick things, but putting some peas or some bacon and creamy cheese or whatever it is. Also I do a lot of hedgerow tipples as well. That's sort of another one of my little guilty pleasures, I guess. So when I've got some rhubarb in the summer or some raspberry, there's nothing better than actually sitting down of an evening and actually enjoying something that you've made from scratch and over some ice. So rhubarb gin or blackberry brandy, that's quite nice of a cold night as well. So there's something there for everything, Simon. So it's well worth just having a nosy around my website or just getting in touch if you like the sound of it, want to collaborate with me, want to align yourself with me, because obviously from a business perspective as well, corporate social responsibility, I can find lots of different ways where I think we'll be working together for mutual benefit.
Yeah, it's huge CSR, isn't it? I mean, I only had a conversation this week about it, how businesses should maybe monitor it, measure it, but also look at what more they can do. And I know businesses have always been asked for money and everything, but there's good reasons why people, need to look at, things like what you're doing, isn't there? Because obviously you're helping people get more healthier, think differently about food, come away from that processed food as well through the website and the podcast and everything. And I think that's critical, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. And I think, more and more, I mean, everyone keeps sort of the banging on the drum about, going green, net zero, what does that look like to you? Because there are like quick wins, like looking at who your suppliers are or where you're sourcing from and things like that. But actually having a happy, healthy workforce, I know that, recruitment and retention within business is really difficult. It's a real challenge. But actually, if you've got healthy employees, whether it's mental health or personal well-being, that sort of thing, and that goes down to actually, you are what you eat, and it's so true. What you put in is then how you feel. So it might be that if you've got a canteen or wherever you're providing food for your employees or whatever it is, that actually you look to source more locally and support some local businesses, because it will reduce your food miles. It will help to keep your money within our circular economy locally, because again, I think we've forgotten about seasonality so much, and it's so convenient, isn't it, just to pop online and order something and it arrives. And the journey in terms of where that's actually been grown, how it's been produced, it's forgotten. And that sort of commodity of kind of actually eating a meal is kind of actually, how often do we get in a car or we're doing something, we just have our lunch, or we don't kind of give that time that we used to. So again, I think there's so much that could be achieved through the CIC, and it's just sort of, for me, drip feeding, planting that seed, or whatever cliche you want to call it. But it's just instilling a bit of change within our mindset.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned about spending money local. I mean, what does it actually mean to you to spend money locally into your local economy?
Well, it's funny. Somebody else asked me this the other day, quite selfishly. I live in a small rural village. If I didn't use the pub would shut. If I didn't send my children to the primary school, I'm sure that, if we all didn't do that, the primary school would shut. If you don't support your local businesses, they will shut, because it's a real tough, you're not, local businesses are generally independent. They're not part of a bigger chain, as it were. There's not going to be anyone that's going to bail them out. If you don't make money, you close, end of, or you have to diversify, or you have to do something. And, and that's the same within farming. I mean, farming is our mainstay, is our business. It's what my husband's family have done in this village for 3 generations now. But we can't, I always joke that I am the farm diversification, because I don't earn a living from the farm, only through selling a few eggs at the gate or what have you. But actually, if you don't support the local businesses around you, then the fabric of the local community will change. And we see that all the time through our local high streets, the way that things keep changing and shutting and what have you, and everything goes out of town or online. And I think there is going to be it is changing. And I think we're realizing that more and more. But actually, sort of to look at supporting local, it really does mean that you're walking through somebody's door, that shop window, and actually buying from them. And there was a study from the University of Warwick that came out a little while ago, and it said that if we spent 30% more on produce grown in the UK, then it would contribute £500 million into the UK economy. And so 30%, I mean, that doesn't take too much more, that's sort of just going to your butcher's and probably buying a joint of meat, or, having your car serviced at, a local garage rather than a big one, or, just going and having a drink at your local pub. Because if you don't use it, it's that classic use it or lose it, isn't it, Simon?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we're trying to, we're really proud as an organisation to, I think it's 84.58% of our expenditure is spent within Northamptonshire, but we're actually monitoring what we're doing at a further local level. And we're encouraging businesses to actually look at, how they can spend money local and where they're spending it, rather than keep jumping on the internet and click and drop and whatever. It's okay. It's there as a service. But at the end of the day, you buy from a human being, you buy from a business owner or a small business that actually provides a service. And that's what communities are all about. And that's what we're really keen to push going throughout the future. And that's why we always support the Small Business Saturday campaign, which comes up next weekend on the 2nd of December. Small businesses make the world go round. We can diversify and, very quick at manoeuvring very quickly when we need to, like we saw throughout the pandemic, for example. So, we're really, pushing people to shop local where we can. And, it's a permanent reminder. We're here and so are they. So let's support each other.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's this saying, I see it on social media all the time, that actually, if you support a local business, you're actually funding children's swimming lessons, school
Correct.
uniforms. You're helping to basically look after your own, whereas actually if you buy from some of these massive international businesses, you're just funding another private jet, a third holiday home, what have you. I mean, I know it's so easy to be able to just quickly click and it arrives at your door. But actually, it is, like you say, the services from real people, and you get so much better. You build up that rapport with somebody, and that's what it's all about in my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just coming towards the end of our chat today, Millie. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about what you do with farmers or with clients that you work with, and how you're sort of helping them get seen?
Yeah, absolutely. So now that I've moved away from my PR and marketing business, I mean, it's kind of the interviews that I'm now conducting through No Fuss Meals with Busy Parents. I mean, now it's more providing that kind of platform, really, because a lot of especially farmers, farmers, food producers, so busy doing the do, as it were. They're so embroiled in their own businesses in producing high quality food, and it's heavily regulated. They're already jumping through so many different hoops. Actually, then when they've got to think about marketing on top, it's like, oh, blimey. And so for me, being able to kind of give them a little bit of limelight and showcase what it is that they are growing and producing, and also then adding value to the consumer, or giving that social purpose that you can make a meal using what it is they grow. So I'm not only telling people about what's grown, so there's that sort of knowledge exchange, but actually then there's a real benefit when saying, right, this is what's grown and here's what you can do with it. And I think that provides real lasting value. And then people can go and follow them on social media, and then hopefully that business might get a lot more traction from it too. So for me, that's sort of partly why I do it, but also because I'm not originally from a farming background, but I have carved my own career within the sector. I've kind of got quite a unique view, really, because farming, it's like any industry. We talk in a certain language that perhaps not everyone appreciates or understands. And actually, when I interview a farmer, they talk to me because I'm a farmer, and they trust me, and they know that I'm not going to try and trip them up or anything like that. And I'll get the very best from them because I genuinely understand what it is they're talking about. But then I'm able to kind of frame or position them in a way that people will actually get it and understand it, or why am I listening to it, and how can you find out more? So for me, it's that kind of journalistic element that kind of helps to shine a light on all of the amazing people that form the food and farming industry.
Yeah, brilliant. I think it's absolutely fantastic what you're doing. I think keep up the good work. Obviously, the judges felt twice that you were obviously doing very well at the NNBN Awards in October. So, I mean, Millie, from me to you, well done. Many congratulations. Keep up the good work as well, because I think what you're doing is you're really highlighting some of what goes in within the farming industry. And it's been great to have you on the podcast.
thank you so much for the opportunity, and I look forward to hearing from some of your listeners, hopefully, who want to get behind me.
Oh, what a great interview with Millie and Tamara as well, talking about their success at this year's NNBN Awards. And it's been fantastic to be able to talk to them both this week about their success, but also what they get up to. Now, next week, I'm determined, talking about Business Awards, to get Sunny Singh from the Northamptonshire Chamber of Commerce on the podcast. I'm sure he will oblige and will be with me, talking to me about their successful night that happened on Thursday night, just gone. And I'll also have Emma Kendrick from Laugh Out Loud Theatre joining me, as well as Simon Hollis talking to me about the amazing Northampton run. So stay tuned for those this time next week. Thank you to everyone that's getting involved as well. We've got loads of people wanting to get involved on the podcast channel and have a chat. And of course, you can get in contact with me on 01536 648383 if you would like to be on the podcast. Or just drop me an email, hello@nnbn.co.uk. I'll catch up with you all soon.